welcome to Wales and welcome to sunny Anglesey. And I've got a question for you. What do the Triumph Daytona 675 and the Ducati Panigale and the KTM Super Duke all have in common? They've all been one make series at British Superbike Championship, but there's a new kid in town.
The F900R was a big improvement over the F800, although it's not exactly at the top of anyone's list of track steeds. However, for 2023, there'll be a full grid of these Bavarian nakeds alongside the British Superbike Championship. BMW invited us to the Welsh Phillip Island to sample a test mule.
And this is race shift. Race shift. Has it got any fuel in it? Jesus, this is naughty. Woo! Pops, bangs. Bloody hell. Imagine 40 of these go around. Gearbox feels very nice too. Well, it's going to. The stock one felt nice. Of course, we've got the full Arrow system, which gives this sound. I'll tell you what, whoever races one of these is going to be giggling all the way around. I mean, it doesn't feel like a happy shopper. It feels really sorted. Of course, a lot of it is to do with suspension. But you've got to have a decent base package, haven't you? Whoa, wide. Curbage. Whoever set this gear lever up has got size 3 feet. Oh, what a noise! There's actually a really nice balance to it. And although the suspension is set up for me, I can still ride it pretty well. Yeah, there's a real nice balance to it. Chassis feels way better than I was expecting. And the motor, well, it's just dominated by that soundtrack, isn't it? It's got the perfect amount of power. I mean, what I mean by that is enough to have some fun, but not too much to scare yourself. And the racing is going to be so good. Whoa, lost the front there. That was just a bit of a shit on the track, I think. There's a press bike next year. I've already booked my slot for Truxton, my home track. And honestly, I cannot wait till 2023. This is going to be so good. Give me these over a Panigale any day. The racing's going to be better. It's going to be more fun, and really, you know, one make series should be fun, shouldn't they? Men, let me mount my steed. Oh, race shift. Right, take two. We've, I say we, disabled the ABS. It's still very much a work in motion type job. This is not the finished article. This is a press bike up until about, well, a few months ago, before Plater started testing them. He's done over 2,000 testing miles on one bike. ABS kit isn't ready yet, but we just disabled it anyway. And let's see what she's like. All that wind. The front end, you can turn anywhere. Genuinely shocked. Yes, I hit the limiter. Oh, shitting hell, nearly hit the grass then. Way better. My compadre Chris Northover made a brilliant suggestion, but that was to allow these into Super Twins. These are 890s. Genuinely, the only limiting factor at the moment is ground clearance for me, because suspension's a bit soft. Well, that feels absolutely delightful through there. I mean, someone said you're going to ride an F900 today and go up through that fast bit and into Rocket. I'd have laughed at you. Whoa! Decking her out there, nice. What a view! Starting to run a bit wide now. Now I'm getting faster. I need some more preload in the shop, really. Need a fat boy spring. But the fueling and the ancillaries of the bike are, I mean, can you tell I'm shocked? It's so good. Simply lovely. Now, I know you're all dying to find out what exactly are the differences between the stock bike and this F900R cut bike. And the answer is really not that much, because we've got some race body work, we've got some general race stuff, you know, like the front brake lever guard and shark fins, etc. But we've got stock gearing, we've got stock brake pads, and I'm shocked at just how well they perform. I mean, the gearing, I mean, sure, you could change it, but in terms of the brakes, honestly, we didn't want any more braking power. There's plenty in the tanks there, plenty. Engines are stock. The ECUs will be flashed once everything's been finalised and everything's kind of, all the data's been gathered. They'll be mapped for these exhausts. There'll be 40 ECUs, and they'll all be put into the bikes, and you can't tamper with them to avoid people flashing them and taking them to Phil Crow to chuck them on the dyno. But other than that, that really is pretty much it, except the two major things. We've got K-Tech suspension, which is, I've got to say, I don't think I've ever ridden a bike that has made such a difference by having just suspension. And, you know, K-Tech's brilliant kit anyway, as most people know, but it really is. The amount of force and piss taking you can put through that front end, I mean, it really surprised me. Like I said, the only thing that kind of upset the apple cart a little bit was the shock, and we've dialed that out so far, so we'll see what happens later on this afternoon. And also the other thing is this, I mean, just look at it. This Arrow exhaust, I don't need to give an introduction to it, I don't need to tell you about it. It's a full system. I don't know the exact power, I mean, I don't think they know the exact power, but the body dyno is around, I think the body dyno is like 100 horsepower. or there or thereabouts. So, of course, we got rear sets as well. But other than that, this bike is stock, and I've got to say, it's blown me away.
I also forgot to mention on camera that as well as the ABS being removed, there'll be no traction control in this series, so it really is in the hands of the pilot.
Clear the garage. Thought I'd go for the white glove today. Oh, mummy. Oh, the egg mayo sandwich is making an appearance. Honestly can't believe how solid it feels. It feels sturdy. You know, some people have ridden it said, or the Ducati riders said that it feels heavy, but it doesn't. It feels sturdy. It doesn't really throw any shapes. I know I'm not riding to this limit, but thing that might put off a few people who have never ridden road bikes or who are used to race bikes is the kind of fly-by-wire. There's not a lot of play. I wouldn't call it direct, but it's, well, direct. It sort of catch you out if you're not smooth enough. Give me this all day long. I'd ride this all day long. If people chuck some tyres at it, chuck some fuel in, I'd be out here all day. Mummy.
Given that over 200 riders have already registered genuine interest in racing one of these next year, BMW probably didn't need to get us along to Anglesey for some PR. In fact, the interest is so overwhelming, there's a possibility of running 2 groups to accommodate the masses. Why the hype? Well, a race-ready F900R is going to cost £11,000, which is at least half the price of a Panigale V2 in race trim. And let's face it, the BMW should crash better too. This series is all about cost-effective racing, and thanks to a limit on tuning and geometry tweaks, the Pilot will make more of a difference than ever. In standard trim, it's never going to give you a semi, yet for some inexplicable reason, this race-kitted F900R is an assault on the senses. Largely down to the exhaust note, but lurking deep somewhere in that chassis is a very capable apex hunter that will put a smile on anyone's face. They're not as fast, and they're certainly not as sexy as superbikes, but the F900s will, I guarantee you, provide outstanding racing next season.